And okay. Right, do you want to sound? Oh, I can hear myself talking now. So yeah, but presumably now people are seeing the screen that I'm currently. I'm going to put my Galaxy on. Right, and now can people hear me now? Yeah. I'm lost totally. Okay. I'm going to start now then, Mark. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Okay, I sounded very loud on there. So if anybody knows me, can you please confirm? Can you just text me and just confirm that I'm online and not too loud or anything like that? Okay, so ZZ's taking an early lead. I'll actually do the introduction of the two players for anybody that needs it at the start of the second match. There's not much needed, but I've got quite both incredibly talented players. I personally I believe they're both in the top 10 in the world. If I had to choose a favourite, I would say Wilx, but it's very close. And I know Simon Sharma disagrees with me because he's willing to take a bet with anybody of £50, as far as I'm aware, who wins the series of matches. So looking forward to it very much, and I'll do a longer introduction of both players and how they got to where they are at the start of the second match. Okay, so trying to catch up with where we're up to. It's now 2-0 to ZZ to 2, and but Wilkes has got the advantage here. And it looks like he should be able to. We all know backgammon, but it looks to me like Wilkes is going to equalise. Okay, so it's just a case of ZZ has to go, so that makes the decision simple, and we'll just follow this one out as they roll the dice. And if nothing strange happens, we're going to be at 2-all. Okay, as predicted, nothing incredible happened, and we've got to 2-all. Now, it's a straight 5-point match, so the cube action is relatively normal, slightly aggressive with it being a shorter match, but nothing out of the ordinary. They're both playing at a very strong pace. I don't know. Okay, standard holding game. Oh, a double four. That isn't quite what Will would have liked. I think he's probably going to keep his checkers 6 away and 5 away, and he did do, just to hold, because we're in an unusual place for a holding game. The lead is with the person playing, says they're playing the holding game, And now we see the benefit of ZZ, sorry, Will keeping the 13.4. Always try and make, well, not always, there's no such thing as always in backgammon, but it's regularly a good thing for improvers to keep your opponent's sixes blocked. Even more so when something like a double six will win a race like that one. Oh, and all right, okay. Somebody's asked me to switch off the Galaxy sound, so I can do that. I think. So hopefully that request has been done now. Okay. Okay, now I've got to get used to without the Galaxy sound. It's probably nicer. I understand why Bogdar asked me to do that. It's much more pleasant without that loud noise, especially how loud I had it. So again, now it's 4-2 to Will. This means that Will has to be slightly more careful with the cube than ZZ has, and you may notice that. You may notice that depending on how the game develops, will just be that slightly slower than it would be normally at getting the cube across. So Will is in Will is in a very strong run at the moment, as well as being an incredibly strong player. He's throwing extremely well as well, which makes him incredible. But as we all know in backgammon, this can change at any time. But he won about 17 or 18 matches against some of the top players in the world, RF, Ueda, John O'Hagan, and I'm sorry if I missed anybody else. Oh yes, and Maestro from Lebanon. And he even beat me, but that was a bit of an easier thing for him. But yeah, he's just on. I think he won 17 on the trot. Unbelievable standard. So Will has doubled, despite my saying he should be slightly careful. So it'll be interesting because by my reckoning that wasn't a double, but as always, I change when Will says that and I say the other. My mind changes quite quickly. So 5-4 for ZZ. So now ZZ's just going to. He won't. Any turn round in advantage, he's going to block the sixes, like I said. Well played. And again, you see the advantage. And already at this score, ZZ's getting close to a double. And this is the reason. This is the reason why I cautioned against Will doubling. But obviously, I'm sure it's obviously changed in Will's favour. But I see in ZZ's favour. But I can see ZZ doubling relatively soon at this score because he's got less to lose and more to gain than normal. Okay, so he's got to. Obviously, he'll play 2 to the 7 point, and then when he decides whether he decides to block the sevens or make a stronger board, I'll leave Zdenek to decide. But quite a difficult decision. I think ZZ should be doubling now because at this score, I don't think he can afford to wait any longer. He's a slight favourite, and to me, that's all he needs, and he has done. And there's no. Will is fearless, rightly. So we'll make the 3 point. We'll definitely hit on the ace point, and it's what he does with his final 5. Does he go all out, or does he have a degree of safety? I think it's all out myself. I think it's bringing the checker from the 21, but we'll see. But I know for certain he'll make the 3 point and hit on the 1 point. He says confidently. So So obviously we've got a lot of time to play now, because this match is not going to be on for long. It could even finish in this game easily. And he's done the all-out play like I suggested, so I'm proud of making that, and that's good play in my opinion, Zdenek. But 4-1, so he's got a nice bear off. And it's looking very much just like it's going to Crawford, but that'll be interesting. Like I say, who am I to criticise Will? But I thought his double was slightly early, but we will find out. Even though I thought it, I'd still back Will now. Okay, so 6-5 for Will. He'll just be. He doesn't need to worry about avoiding double fours. He'll need to throw about 3 or 4 of them before it is a disaster. So he might as well just come in and play sensibly. I think it's probably too late for an incredible. Yeah, well, for an incredible comeback. Yep, that's it. Okay, so it's 6-4 Crawford to ZZ. And we'll see what happens. It's not Crawford, Crawford and post Crawford are often like DMP games. Sorry, Crawford is often like a DMP game where it makes no difference for either side to get gammons. And this is one such example. So the plays will be the same plays as you would do at DMP. So there's not much been decided yet. Slight advantage to blue after that roll, but nothing terminal. I think he will make the 3-point. And just run out. But he's got a lot of choices. Of course, he can escape 2 completely on and be left with one checker back, and that's quite an attractive. But he did make the 3-point. No cube, don't forget, in this game, so neither player has to worry about that particular aspect of it. Now this is definitely bringing his back checker out, and now Will is got a slight race lead. And we'll be hoping to make it as much like a race as possible. Definitely 3 down and 1 to the 5-point. And now we've got ZZ. Now, of course, blue is just hoping to bring home as safely as possible. And so that's the only thing he's thinking at this moment. I suspect 13-11 to 2 and 15-14 to 2. Yeah, that's right. And 5-1 for white. He'll just continue to make his board, will ZZ. He'll just slot 2 points to have a board ready as quick as possible. I don't think he'll play 23-18. Yeah, it's a bit. It loses contact as much as it gains contact. But again, we will see. If it was me, I would be slotting the 2nd point in order to try and make my board as quick as possible. What he's thinking so long for is he's trying to decide whether there's more contact on the 18-point than there is on the 23-point, and he's agreed with me that there isn't. It's a bit. But now he's got a race chances as ZZ. Now does Will give him the 6-1? He did. And the return, the benefit of that was, of course, that he doesn't. It's easier to clear now. So it was worth the 1 in 16 risk to do it. Okay. So it's looking like we're gonna. To me, it's already looking like it could well be a DMP match, a DMP in the first game. no surprise for these two that it's going to be close for the whole of this match. ZZ might as well stay. It's very unlikely he'll get a shot, but he's decided to go. There wasn't going to be much in it one way or the other, but he decided to go. So there's outside winning race chances for white. So 1 off and 6-4 will be the play. Catching up, but for the crowd we want a DMP match. But ZZ has definitely shown that he was right to leave with with both checkers, because he did have a race chance until that 6-6, and so it's DMP match. It's going to be exciting and close all the way. That's my prediction. Okay, so it's going to be a double drop. And so we're on genuine DMP now, not just with a 2 cube. So here we go. Slight advantage to Wilx already, to Will already, with that nice 3-3, but not terminal by any means. I think he'll make the 5 point. And now we've got action, and anything could happen now. Obviously, ZZ's hoping to make the bar point, which of course is why Will hit him. And I've got a cup of coffee arriving, so that's lovely. Thanks, sweetheart. Okay, 6-1. I think... Oh, that surprised me. Will, you can tell he doesn't really want to go forward so much, but he just couldn't resist it. And now he's getting the reward. So, will finish him off before... Oh, he's looking that way. It's very strong. But ZZ will have to start moving some of his back checkers, and he did do, of course. Now, it's really difficult decision, as does he bring another builder on for that 2 point? That's my personal choice. He's got chance to get up. But now, of course... Will must care about those back checkers. He can't afford it. He's in such a strong point, and don't forget the gammon doesn't matter for him. So we have. So I think he will play 24-18, just to make sure that those any back checker doesn't get stuck. When you're in such a strong position, you can start caring about other things than the closeout, and that's what he's doing now. Okay, difficult decision. Does he shift? But which will be a lot better for long term. But of course, you've got to be scared stiff of the 6-6. And he didn't shift. That'll be an interesting decision. Then he's got the reward by closing ZZ out. So it's looking very much like Wilx has won the first game, but it's backgammon. We all know anything can happen. Still the odd decision here. Does he pick up from the 6 point straight away? Does he leave it a roll, or does he play with a full board? Not easy. These decisions don't cost a fortune in PR, but the likelihood of these two being so close in PR, he has to care. He has to worry about it. So we don't. Right, that more or less sorts it out. Will play totally carefully. Of course, he's not interested in the gammon. He'll be now just playing as safe as possible at all times. First game over, and we'll see the interesting thing, what the PRs are, and it'll be intriguing. See these two great players, see if they played up to their normal potential. and it's about to come on. Oh my goodness. 1.45 ZZ, what a player. And Grandmaster and Will on 284. Oh, these two players can play. That's and the irony is will not be over the moon with that 284. So 7 or 8 minutes it looks like they're going. It gives us chance to quickly go through the analysis, but on of course it's on, is it 2 or 3 player setting, but it's still good enough to have a look at. So let's have a look. It'll give us the right idea. So we've got the first game was, we've got a 4-1 to play for blue, for Will, and he chose to play bar 20, and he should have played. We were talking about, I think it was my false first attempt. I was talking about the all the different choice he has with the double one, and I wasn't certain. 6-9, 6-1, sorry, and ZZ plays 16 to 9. That looks, yeah, so he had 16 to 7. Sorry, 13 to 7 and 16 to 15. It just brings an extra builder in with without much risk. And if you are going to be hit, you kind of want him to hit from his strip midpoint. It'll damage his play anyway. But this also brings a good builder onto the 7 point. Right, let's just go to the first blunder. We've only got 7 or 8 minutes. Double 3, very hard play, and very difficult. And the answer was to run out all the way. It's so tempting to. I mean, all Will's thoughts will have been on making that 3 point and making a stronger board, and it was just such a difficult decision. But it was run out all the way was the correct answer. Certainly no criticism of me. I wouldn't have known that for sure. Absolutely. I think what it does do is it means that we've got a bit of defence after hitting the 2. After being hit, if we can come in, we've got quite a lot of we've flooded the outfield for not making it easy for white to get past us. Although I suspect that even after the 2, any 2, white would be doubling anyway, but who knows. But people better than me will be able to explain why that double 3 is certainly to come out into the outfield. But that's my and of course it's good for the race. Oh, that's not good for the race because he's 23 behind. I better stop talking about this. It's out of my level. So game 2. Now this is the one where I thought Will might have doubled early. So let's have a look. Oh, not at all. Not at all. It was, of course, a correct double, and it was actually a drop. So there's a reason why Wilx and ZZ are at number 1 and 2, and I'm just commentating. I'll try my best for you people, but I thought it might be close because of the. Have I got the right? This doesn't seem right. Oh, sorry people. It was the game where it was 4-2. Sorry. So I've still got hope for me getting it right. Yeah, on the correct decision. So we'll go to game 3 where it's 2-all, and white doubled, and it was an early double, but it was 2-all to 5. You are usually slightly more aggressive with doubling at 5, but this is perhaps a bit too much. And of course, Will snap took it because it really is, and he's only got a 1 point board. He's earning a 2 point board, sorry, and the downside of that is one of those points of the ace point. So what if Will gets any kind of anchor on, just any kind of anchor, then positionally blue will be ahead, which is certainly enough to make this a clear take and not even a double. So, but we went through most of the rest of the game without much problem. And this is a blunder. 11 to 5, 5 to 1. Oh no, I don't. Oh, sorry. Will should have been recubing. Will should have been recubing. So let's have a look at the cube. And the cube details are cube. So it should have been a double take. The thing is, Blues, the cube, you can be more aggressive, as we'll see later when ZZ got a correct cube in. You can be more aggressive with the cube in matches when you're recubing to 4 if the match is quite a short match, because the bottom line is you're playing almost for the whole match when you get the cube on 4 in a 5-point match, which this is. And if I'm right, we'll see that in the next game, but I suspect I won't be. Now we go on to game. So now we have Will with a 4-2 lead, and I suggested that his double was early, but it's so. It actually was early, amazingly, but not as much as. Sorry, but absolutely only a small error, and it's good to be an aggressive doubler anyway, and Will is certainly that. And but as a general rule, as advice I would give to my listeners, if there's any improvers and intermediates out there, don't just be a tiny bit more careful with the cube when you're at needs 3, needs 5 than you would be at 0-0 to 5. And I suspect that this will be a cube at 0-0, but not one at 0-5. Okay, again we'll look at the cube details, and it's 66% and 29%, so that absolutely would be a correct double at 0-0. So if anybody gets the chance to talk about my traffic light system of cubing, it would have actually picked it up there. And as I'm suspecting that there'll be about 2 or 3 decisions in this whole thing that I get right and the 2 players get wrong, I better make the best of it. Okay, at game 5, we've now got, it's in effect, it's Crawford, and both players are playing 1 error. So unsurprising. I think we've just about got time to play it. I hope I'm not. We did talk about the difference, the questions it had. Will's just messaged me to say he's starting in 1 minute, so I'll just finish off game 7. Again, as you'd expect in Crawford type, DMP type, backgammon, almost no errors, and we end up with both of them under 3. Will is always under 3, so that's no big surprise. And ZZ 1 and a bit, unbelievable play, and not a surprise. But even ZZ won't expect to be playing that all day. But that is just a world-class play by both of them, as we would expect. So now let me try and get out of this and onto the site, and we've got, hopefully we'll be starting in a minute and we'll be joining again. If there's any listeners out there, it gives me a chance to introduce the 2 players, because I couldn't do in the first game. ZZ, a young man from Czechoslovakia, great player, around 2021, that kind of age I would have guessed. First met him about 4 years ago. Top player, definitely top 10 in the world for my liking. Has dominated the Galaxy rating for years, and almost since the start of it. A couple of us have challenged him. I challenged him for King of the Thing. He beat me 4-3 in both. Neither of us we played speed, which was a bit too much, and he beat me 4-3 in both PR and in results. And in all honesty, he beat me easier than that. But I'm just trying to claim it from my side. Wilx, a former giant number 1, tremendous player. I think I said ZZ is definitely in the top, in my opinion, in the top 10 in the world. Wilx, I even consider higher than that. I see him as a rival for Mochi, as the world number 1. I'm just so impressed with him. His knowledge is incredible. But there's other people in with that same shout, I'm sure. So I don't want to mention too many other names. And we've got the UBC coming up between Ueda, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, and Mochi. That'll be a tremendous match, and so we will find out. But Wilx is in that category as well of top 2 or 3 or 4 in the world, in my opinion. And I've got to give a shout out to my all-time favourite player, TK. I just admire him so much, and he was so unlucky in the. He was just so unlucky. I've just had a message from my friend Jeff. He's going to try Jeff Hall, another great upcoming player. All right, we're on, and he's going to try and run ZZ, but it's a bit try and run XG for me while we're playing. Okay, sorry, I missed a bit of that game and all my rabbiting on. So it's still 0-0. The cube's still in the middle. It looks to me like Will's got quite a strong advantage, and whatever ZZ does, we'll be thinking of doubling. But on the other hand, Blue's still got 2 checkers back, and mine just I think he will do, because ZZ has to bring another checker loose. So it could so easily go wrong. I think Will needs to get the cube over here. There's so many market losing sequences. Wrong again, Tim. Anyway, we'll find out soon. He obviously is going to play 13-7. Now, what does... These are tough positions. I think he just has to make the 5 point, and he has done. Now, does Will think he's improved enough to double? He's obviously thinking about it. You've got to be really careful in these positions for Will. He could suddenly miss a double 2 or 3 times. I know players of Will and ZZ's ability are actually trying to get things exactly right. I've got to be honest, when I'm playing at BMAB, if I'm not sure, I get that cube over it so I don't get multiple missed cubes. But at Will's level, he's looking for more than that. So now we know why Will didn't double, because the game is back on a knife edge. Obviously White's, oh no, not obviously, pretty obviously though White's going to hit. Yeah. I think Blue will just play simply, come out to the 21 point and block 6s. Blocking 6s is always, is almost always a good move in backgammon. I think White might just play safe and just get his checkers safe for now, and then regroup and come back later. No, he's got more to him than that. Is Blue going to go for glory? He is, and he's got glory. So this must be a double. Must be. And a pass. Now the pass was tougher than the double, of course. We'll have a look. So many gammons. Just so, who put? Oh, Andy Darby. My friend Andy Darby put in a difficult position that looked almost similar. That looked very tricky take. That I've now looked at the answer. It looks like it was a take, but it. So that wouldn't shock me if that wasn't a take, but it wouldn't shock me if it was I expect it to be a drop, as ZZ did. Double 3. Oh, again, you could do with 4 of them, but you can't change it once you. It's only 3. This is obviously the benefit of putting your opponents on the bar. It it reduces his shots from either having 2 plays to 1, or 4 to 3 in the case of a double. So that's one of the many reasons to hit when you can do. He'll obviously make the 8-point, and then I think he's got to choose, I think, only between 65 and 24 to 23. XG has taught us that 24 points so much better than the 23, so I think he'll play 65, but I do think it'll be close. Yeah, he did. Now I think ZZ. Oh, it was an easy move for ZZ. Just block 6s. I don't know how many of you find the block 6s really easy, but I know a lot of intermediate improvers who don't naturally block 6s. It's another tactic in backgammon that's so important, and all the top giants and grandmasters have it as part of the game, and I would advise you to, when you looking at moves and checker plays, always have a look for how your opponent's 6s play. What's bad for them is good for you. Always remember that as well. Tough plays again. The 4 isn't easy. This is a bit easier. Close. The race is close, which makes the decisions a lot harder in some ways, because in mutual holding games, because when one side's got a lead, it's obvious which side has got to do the breaking first, and therefore can make the decisions. But both sides have to consider it when the race is quite close, which makes the decisions tougher. I think he will play totally safe here, but we'll see. Tricky decision, so it's no wonder he's taking his time on this. But I think I'd have made my mind just by totally safe. No, ZZ's got more to him than that, and he played he played more pure, as they say, which is the pure. Double 1, another tough one. He doesn't really want to bring himself in range. He might even be reduced to playing 3 to 1 twice here. Oh, he kept 7 away. He kept 7 away because he didn't want a direct shot. And now, of course, he'll just pick up. And it's now a very strange position. White with a big race lead. The cube's not going to go because the race lead counteracts the positional advantage for the other side. Will doubles. But this must be a take with this race differential. Surely. But I do perhaps rely on the race too often. I couldn't drop this. Let's see if Zdeněk's with me or not. I just look at a 32 pip deficit as just too easy a take. And how many gammons are there really? We've got to get closed out, and we've got to get closed out. The other checker picked up, which is quite easy if we get closed out. and then get gammoned, which is only happens 40% of the time. I think this is a clear take. I think the double's more in question than the take. But what do I know? Well, either me or ZZ is totally wrong, so I'm interested in that particular one. Okay, 4-3. Now, according to you can't take too far this idea of not splitting into a. This is where I play 4-21 and 24-20. Oh, sorry, that was better, of course. I missed the 3 hit. I was looking at just coming down. Sorry, rubbish play. Okay, but now blue has a dilemma. Somebody's messaging me, so I'll just try and oh, somebody just told me that I was correct. Thanks, Jeff. It was a big blunder to pass, so surprise. It's so much easier in the commentary booth. Wouldn't we all be better players in the commentary booth than we are on the table? Although having said that, I wouldn't have got a 6. I wouldn't have got a 1.2 before. But in that instance, Jeff has told me it was a big blunder to pass. I just thought that my thinking was you can't. That is too big a race deficit, a race advantage to pass. So he won't be playing 1.27 in this one, but still we've got a long way to go, and it does allow ZZ to be more aggressive. Now that was a tough decision for Will as well, but at what point does Will commit to a 1-3 back game? These are really tricky for both players. So I think he's going to aim for a 1-3 back game by playing 24 and then hit on the 4 and then see what happens. But it can soon go wrong. It can soon go wrong. And of course now ZZ will just be playing not to. We could see a game now where Will goes all out for the back game by playing 13, 11, 6, 5, and he has done. But ZZ didn't respond correctly by just missing every shot. So it is really the tactics now are really interesting. At what point does Will change from going forward to backwards? It is so tricky. Obviously this isn't tricky yet. We're still playing sensibly 2 down. I can't see it. Will's got too many chances going forward to. Now Will might slot the bar because he's not that bothered about getting hit. I mean, it's a long. I mean, Will needs so much more timing than this. I know he's played safer, but it's so now. Will definitely ZZ will definitely bring 1 out, and I think he should button up with the other 1, just because he doesn't want to make it easy for Will to win going forward by putting 4 on the bar at any point. No, he decided to button up on the 2 point, which I wouldn't have done. Three, 2. So now he will have to come out now. He absolutely has to come out now. And now he can feast on these checkers. And suddenly we're looking very strongly at a gammon. Will desperately wants a 1-1 or 2-2. Whether he'll get it or not is another question. And if he did throw a 1 or a 2, ZZ would undoubtedly hit it off there because he cannot afford Will to get a back game. He'll be making one of either the ace or 2 point. Probably the ace point because he's got more coverage for the 2 point in that case. I think he'll make the ace point here. Because then he's got 1, 2, 3s, 4s and 5s to make the 2 point. yes, he. Oh my goodness! Oh, this is a cruel game we both play, and suddenly, we all play, and suddenly, oh, and now the payback. What a strange game! That the equity swings in the last two rolls are just phenomenal, phenomenal, as I say. So let's get back going. We've got a different place now, a completely different game, completely different game. I think he may have considered there bringing all four out to as a combination to try and avoid getting gammoned and leave the ace point, the 2 point to look after itself. Incredible changes. 6-1. Now we're just going to see white trying to get as near home as possible. And I think will now start to just play to avoid being gammoned, and with the outside chance of the odd win. And they'll probably now both accept that from both of players will be quite happy that is the final solution, the final answer to this position. Okay, so ZZ will be played as carefully as possible. We'll wait for one more roll. He'd make a perfect board and give it one more chance because there's always 6-5. He's wasting only 2 pips by right. Okay, so how greedy does ZZ? I think he should go for it. Make the 3 point and pick up, because a couple of dances and white will suddenly get a gammon. So he's got to play aggressively. Of course, he's got another way of going for the gammon, which is to take 3 off immediately, and then but then he's reliant on a big double rather than dancing. My play would be, yeah, he's gone for that. Now Will just has to respect the gammon and get, so in double 5 or double 6. No, not quite enough. So we're 2-0 and back again with a 5 point match. No surprise that this is close. We were all expecting it. And now, can somebody let me know if anybody took Simon up on his Simon Sharma up on his bet? Okay, standard double 4, 2 out, 2 down, and 6-4 for white. Now, does white run or not? He's got quite a lot of options there, and that would have been my choice. Now, this is a simple game. This will be very low PRs for both players. The race again is close, so both have they did have the difficulty of deciding when to go. That decision is gone. Now we're just going to have this is a double and probable drop. I think it's close. It was worth. I didn't have time. Obviously, ZZ's knows. So 17 pips with a lot of points made on the outfield. I thought it deserved a bit of thought, but obviously it's a standard position for ZZ. It was all the points in the outfield for blue that made me feel like it was a lot easier there's a lot less shots going to be hit by white than a normal holding game. 4-1. Oh wow! Yeah, of course. There was no risk in leaving the shot because of all the ZZ's blots. Okay, so now we'll be trying to shuffle a bit closer to home. He's got 2 ways. He can either clear the 10 point, and which will be a useful move forward, or make the 7 point. I actually favour make it clear in the 10, but we'll see what Will decides to do. he's with me. That's good. So 6-5, 2 in. Okay, now he'll clear the 9 points. Sorry. The race is still in the ballpark. So more than in the ballpark. In fact, it's so in the ballpark, he may decide to go with both. He must have about 22-23% winning chances there. And now, of course, Will count easily. Oh, wow, how does Will play this? Because if he plays 6-3-3 and 4-1, it makes that decision that so it really is a consideration making the 2 point. Really is a consideration. But he didn't. He played the safe play, but now he's got awkward threes. But with 3-1, at least he can play it safely by playing 8-7-4. Now, definitely, Zedza should stay for a bit longer. Now Will's just played, which completely made his 3-3 originally right. You know, you have to play safe. You have to play when you get to Grandmaster level. You have to be prepared to play the ugly play now and again. It's okay playing pure, and we all agree with playing pure, but sometimes you have to play the ugly play, and it's getting the balance right, which makes backgammon such a difficult game. And we're back in a close race. Thanks to Zed's double 6. Okay, so we're now 4 checkers again, 11 checkers. It's not a recube yet because of the race lead, but it was getting close, but not any longer. So there won't be any cubes in this. The only chance if White throws a jackpot, it'll be double drop, but it'll be there won't be any cubes in it without that. So, for example, if he gets a double 5 or double 6, he wouldn't have a chance to cube anymore. So we now again needs 3, needs 5, and if you remember last time, I advised caution with the cube from Will's side, and it's the same situation again. And I hope that he's cautious, slightly more cautious than he would be at 0-0. Well, now it's the opposite for Zdenek. He is going to be more aggressive than normal. In fact, I think this is a double at this score. At this score, we have to, on the Tim Cross traffic light system, the lights burning green. Make the prime. Okay. Tough play. He may even hit and split too, because he cannot just live and just die a slow death behind that prime, and he did do. Now we're going to be back in one of those games where Will's going to be trying to create time in as much as possible, and Zed's going to try and stop him. So there'll be a lot of hitting loose from blue that looks risky, but it's not actually that risky because of his strong back game. So we're going to see some strange plays to the beginner here in the next couple of rolls possibly. And often some people say backgammon's like a race. Well, in this position it is anything but a race. And Will decided that he'd rolled so well that he would attempt to win going forward. Tricky decisions, of course. This one's simple. Oh, it's not. He may choose to lose the 1-6 and 2-6 in order to create an extra builder for the 4 point, which would be so helpful. Time. Tiny time, small time issues for ZZ, nothing Nothing too bad though. Right. Will would like more timing, but I can't see how he can try and force any now. He'll probably leave his checker on the 13 just to make it slightly awkward for Will if he throws a 1. But it's tricky. On the other hand, he's 4-2 up, so I think he would already gladly get out of this for just losing 2 points. 4-4. Wow. This is why Will is Will and Tim Cross is the commentator. Yeah, I didn't see that 2-5. Now, does he promote to a 1-4 back game? Nothing like as good as a 1-3 back game, but the 1-4. Oh my goodness! Oh, it's outside my pay scale. I'm afraid, people. This is complex from both sides. This is where we need Neil helping me in commentary. Unfortunately, Neil also offered to do some commentary, and he would have been able to help me in this kind of position, but we're not the most technically able, either of us, and I just about managed to learn how to do this. And then Mark said to me, "Oh, well, will you do a shared something or other with Neil at the same time as learning all this?" And I said, "I've not got a chance in hell," but this is the occasion where I would have needed Neil's help in trying to guide me through this. 6-1. Okay, so he has ended up with a 1-4 back game. Tricky backgammon this. In a lot of ways, Zdenek wants to slot the 3-point. I'll be surprised if the PRs are really low in this one. This is tough backgammon for even players of this level. And then you have to unfortunately say on PR3 and analysis XG3 play analysis, can it cope with this level of complexity that these two players are playing in this particular game? Again, tough play. He surely can't leave a voluntary double shot though. I think he's just, I think players of my level would just play completely safe. And he left the double shot. It helps that he has no there was no chance of any recubes or anything like that. And look at what ZZ has gained from, and now he had until now Will throws back. This is the other thing about Will. He's on this. He's not only playing incredible backgammon. He's rolling for the last 2 months. He's rolling like a god as he is playing like one. He is just, he's unstoppable at the moment. But he's going to try with ZZ. He's going to try for sure. But he doesn't dance, does it, Will? So wow, great play, great interesting play. This. Absolutely intriguing what's going on. Will not using the cube has a big bearing on this position, because he's very in the normal places, in normal positions, this kind of game gets cut short by if say Blue had made a 5-point board, but even with a 5-point board at this score, we won't be seeing a recube. Okay, I'll just bring another one into the battle, or he might play 8-4 to be safe, but I think he's more like to bring another one. Wait, He can't actually bring another one into the battle. They still only have 3 covers, so we might as well play safe. So these are tough plays, and for both players. Another tough play. Like I say, I don't think we'll be seeing a combined PR of around 4 in this match. Right, it'll be 1 out and 1 down. Now, this would absolutely be a double at normal scores, and it might even be a double. You know, Will's an aggressive doubler anyway. Oh, what can he do? Now he's too good, of course. He's too good for a couple of rolls at least until he gets close to double 4s being disastrous. He won't be doubling, and he won't be doubling at all now. He'll just be. He's got. Julian. Thanks to Julian Fetterline, he told me. Somebody's law, which is, as far I've not studied it yet. It's 40% gammons plus 2% for each pip outside. So that's 44% gammons occurred. If I quoted Julian who helped me on a previous commentary, posted it correct. It was somebody's law, and I hope I've read it right, but I must reread the email. So the law is, as far as I'm aware, 40% plus 2% for each pip outside. So the 2 pips on the 8 point by 4. So 2, 4. No, that makes it 48, doesn't it? Of course. I think he'll be really aggressive and just take 1 off. Somebody's texting me, probably tell me the name of the law. That's with 2 on the board. No, that can't be right, Jeff. No. I think you're more than 40. All right, sorry. Jeff's right, I'm wrong, I think. I'm getting to him. Thanks for your advice, Jeff. Yeah. Anyway, in this confusion, we've seen that Will has almost got this gammon now. He's strong favourite. That's it, and it's gammon, it's all over. So. Crazy 5-2, I didn't spot the 5-2. So I'm saying they won't have the same PRs as last time. Still, yeah, tough match. No wonder they came back to normal Grandmaster level, but still very impressive in the. In my book, I think that puts Will 3-1 up in the match score though, with Will's asking for 7 or 8 minutes, so we'll spend a bit of time looking through, and game 1. And Blue made a blunder with a 3-2. And he should have just run his back checker. If in doubt, run your back checker. I think that's whose law? Pottle's law, I think that was, and it's one I use quite often. Okay, we'll just look at. I was a bit late in the start of the match last time, so I'll just go through the blunders this time. Game 2 and the cube actions. The game 2, the score is now 0-1, and we have a blunder from ZZ with a 4-3. Oh yes, I just thought it was a bit too big, the 4-3. I think I commented on at the time, but yeah. But it was pure, and the higher standards seems to be okay. Yeah, and Jeff pointed this. I called it at the time as a very clear take, and it was indeed a very clear take. I don't know why ZZ dropped this one. Just obviously it looks like there's some gammons. Let's just go on the detail and the cube, and so there are, as I went in my commentary, there's only 15% gammons. In order to get a gammon, blue has to close out white and pick up the second checker, which is relatively easy, and then he only wins 40% gammons. I think Jeff's just told me correctly with 2 on the bar. So the actual number of gammons was only 15%, and the race lead is the race lead. It's just a huge race lead. If there's any chance whatsoever of getting an array that this turns into a race, which without much contact, then it's game over for White will be reshipping that cube really quickly. So it was a pretty clear take, but that just brings his PR over the 2 things back to normality of about 3. The guy's brilliant, but this is the one blunder that he's made so far. Okay, so we go back to the log. Game 3, we had some really tricky games. So this time Will took. I just couldn't believe, he's so far behind. He's not only trailing, he's not only leading. He's behind a 4 prime. It looked like one of the Will's strengths is an aggressive player, and you can't be bullied. And this is where he perhaps was too aggressive, but rare. So we go to, that was the rest of the screen, and then we had some really complex back games, and double take correctly. So we're now at 5 away, 5 away. Yeah, oh right, I thought this needed looking at the take, but so let's just see. I thought it was close, and it because ZZ just snap took it. Let me just see how wrong I was. Detail, cube, double. A pass would have been a 2, 8, 7 blunder. I'm not saying I would have passed, but ZZ was completely correct to. I would have taken a few minutes, a while just to decide, and I thought it would have been closer than that. Totally wrong. So congratulations, ZZ. You're right. It was right to be a snap take. The reason he was able to take so quickly, it's just a standard position to ZZ. Okay, so we'll go on to detail. Somebody's writing to me. I don't know if that comes up on my screen. I'm playing in the club's championship for NIBA A, and I've just been told that Martin Bartwell, my captain, has won his game, and Oliver's won his game, so I'm redundant. So whatever I do tomorrow, we're through to. There must only be about 10-15 teams left, so that's an enjoyable competition I'm part of. So thanks very much, Martin and Oliver, for looking after me and making my job easy tomorrow. Okay, so we're now on game 5, the final game. Again, it was quite complex. Trailing, as I predicted, it was an easy double at that score, and a relatively. I'll just check how close the take was, but it will be correct. Yeah, it would have been a 250 blunder to drop. Now we had a blunder from Will, 6-2. That's a tough blunder. That's a tough blunder. I thought he obviously Will wanted to bring more checkers into the zone. It's still a long way before he gets before blue crunches. He's got 3 numbers to. 3s, 5s and 6 to escape. But XG often wants to just make sure there's no chance of crunching, and also to strengthen. It gives him more outfield control in the event of whites hitting. But this was a really tricky position that I kept saying. Oh, this is where I needed Neil's help, wasn't it? 3-1, and this is the point where does Will double, or was he too good? Oh no, sorry. Does Will redouble? Obviously, he was concerned about the match score, and that is why he didn't redouble. Of course, it would have been a redouble and drop at normal match scores at 0-0, but because ZZ may well have wanted to play for the match. Oh, blue 90. Have I got something wrong here? Oh, that was after the 3-1. So we look at the detail of the cube that Will missed. And it should have been a double pass. Yes, it should have been a double pass. A redouble pass. But obviously Will, I can't believe he thought he was too good here. I think he might have just missed it. I think he may have been more scared of ZZ taking and turning it round. So again, at least these guys are human, still in the top 10 in the world, both of them, in my opinion. But that was a tough game for both players. So I'll go back to Galaxy, and hopefully there's no matches in play. So would somebody just message me when they're about to start again? No, I've got a great feature of Galaxy that I found out a month after everybody else did, but I had a laugh with Mark about that. I congratulated him about this great feature on Galaxy of the filter, and so you can find players, and you don't now have to keep clicking on the wrong person. You just put their name on the filter, and then their match against you comes up, and you can't misclick. So it's a fantastic filter. So a month after the event, Mark, I did a Facebook post congratulating Galaxy on this, and Mark said, in my it's been out a month, but thanks very much anyway. And I just I said to him, of course, a month, me getting a technology piece of information after a month is actually speed of light. I'm normally about 3 or 4 years behind everybody else. I just started texting last week. No, I'm not quite that bad, but I'm not much better. So yeah. So anyway, So after that little comedic between me and Mark, it is a fantastic feature. And if you're not aware of it, really look for it, because it used to be awkward trying to click exactly the right time. All you need to do is put your opponent's name into the filter box, press filter on, and then as soon as their match comes up, I don't know if you need to keep refreshing or not. I'll just refresh just in case. Right, but that stopped me. I'll just put Wilx in again, and that means when he comes on, hopefully, I'll see his match. So 2 matches in, we've got the score as 3-1 to Wilx in this battle of the champs for the crown. As I said before, Will's just messaged me to say he'll be starting in 1 minute, so I'll be ready for them. The first game, the win went to Will, and the PR went to ZZ. And in game 2, Will won both the game and the PR. Like I say, Will is just on an almighty run at the moment against all the top players in the world. He must have won, he must have won now something like 25 or 6 out of 30. It's just incredible. Now nobody is actually that good to be able to win that kind of percentage. You know, we all have runs and not runs, but the combination of Will rolling fantastic and playing fantastic is just like, it's just impossible to play against. There they are. They're about to start, and we can rejoin them. So it's now as it's 3-1 to Will. I'll slightly support ZZ here. Both two really nice guys, really pleasant guys. So you can't dislike either of them, in my opinion. And yeah, so it's very hard to have a favourite. It's just the British, we like to support the underdog, and as Wilx is winning 3-1, I'm going to have a slight preference for ZZ in this one. But in the bottom line, if this score ended up 5-all, it would be reasonable. Okay, 5-2 to 5-2. So what does White do? He just makes 11 points. 11 points is massively underrated by I think Will might show us again the value of the 11 point. He's done it. You know, he's made the 11 point a great point. Beginners and improvers often underrate the 11 point, and I think here White is going to even put a builder on it as well. Okay, having said that, XG has taught us part of the reason we understand the value of 11 point is XG's advice. But I think I read somewhere that somebody knew it before the box came into play, but I certainly didn't. 5-3-4 blue, and blue's attacking hard. Blue's got a lot of blots. White has a race lead. We already have now established the initial stages of this game, but that's changed it slightly. That little bit. So now White is the one a bit under pressure to roll well. But he's surely should just make a strong point. Oh right, now this is interesting. Certainly worth a double, I would have thought. He's got 5 men back though, so it's probably not. It would have been just that slightly too easy a take. But it can, you know, he had market losing sequences like 1-1, 2-2, and 3-2. It's not that many. Probably not the 9 that is recommended. I like bringing one down 13 to 10 to again work on that 5 point. That 5 point is almost game over when in this position. So, oh, but of course he's just got to making the 13. Yeah, I didn't see that. I'm doubling as well here. He's not so sure. He's not with me, but maybe. Okay, so he's gone forward. It's certainly a double drop now, even with all them men back. But is he too good or not? That's the question now that Will's got to answer. I think when you ask yourself this question, am I too good? Well, sure, I'm presuming it's a double drop. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you ask yourself, what would happen if I rolled a 5-2? Now, if Will had doubled, then he obviously, I would have been seeing it badly. What you ask yourself is, if I roll a not perfect number like 5-5 or 2, but something like a 5-2, would I still have a double, a strong double? And if the answer is I still have a very, very strong double, then the answer is that you're too good. Okay, 6-2. So Will is now definitely believing he's too good. There's no question on this one now. I do think he's missed a cube at some point, but we'll see. He just has to be careful a bit with Will. What numbers are really bad for him? 4s and 2s aren't great, but they're good enough. So he just has to be a bit careful. But he hasn't got that much flexibility already with the 4-2. So I like that was the play I like. Now 6-4 is just too good to not take the point, even though. But he will ask the question because he's got such awkward double 4s and double 2s. But I think he's got enough to just make the 2 point and risk it. No, it's just too good a throw to ignore making the 2 point. I think, and will agree with me. And now he's okay. He might, because 3s are bad from the 20, he might not play 16 to 15 because that's why he didn't, because he wanted to diversify his escape numbers, and now he's fine, so all's good. Nine to 6 and 11 to 10. Or he might I would play to the 2 point here, but from the 7, but okay, now I think he'll open up the 6 point. Because he's got a lot of, I think he'll open up the 6 point because the gammon is almost secured, and I think that's the safest play. Let's see if Will agrees with me. So I'm for open up he didn't do, so either way it'll be a very small error either way. 4-2. Okay, suddenly slight weakness in Will's position. ZZ will be desperate to dance in this next sequence. He's danced, so there are some shots. No good. Will's too good. I've got another text, hopefully from Jeff. Tell me something else I've missed or I've got right. Well, apparently Will only missed a small double, so it wasn't. I thought, and he was correct to play on after that. I have to say something. I can't just carry on going. Will and ZZ are perfect, so I have to try and pick up on the odd error. Let's just take it for granted that we know they're brilliant players and they're better than me. So it's not, but every now and again they'll miss something, and we have to try and point it out. So it's now down to 6-6 only, and he didn't get it, and it's now 2-0 to Will again. It's relentless. I can feel for ZZ. I've been there. I think I've lost. I'm not sure exactly, but I think I've played about 10 matches recently. Oh no, maybe 8 or 10. But I've certainly only won 2 of them. It's just relentless playing him. It isn't. He's just like I said, the combination of his incredible play and the dice he's rolling at the moment is just unbelievable. But it will change one day, and Will's aware of that. He's been there, he's experienced enough, and what he knows is to take advantage when the going's good, and he knows that. We're not talking about a beginner here. We're talking about somebody completely aware of their own of backgammon and the ups and downs of backgammon and backgammon life. So we'll make ZZ will be making the 5 point, of course, and now he can't escape all the way. So I think he might just make an inboard point here because there's not much else to do. But I mean that's a good thing. So wrong, he went for it. He went for it. Maybe I've got something to learn there. So I'm interested in that play at a later date. So it was 2-0. Maybe I'm too static and not not aggressive enough in escaping the back checkers. So I've got a lesson to learn there. 3-2 for blue. He had to again be playing safe, and is that right or not? This because of white's superior board. you know, the players of this level try and make things happen, and rather than just sit around and wait. And this is why I will. But he did in the end play my safe play, and now ZZ will point on him, and now there's an advantage to ZZ, but it's not all over by a long way. It's traded. All right, now we're at a point of ZZ. So I think that ZZ will be doubling here, and it's a tricky decision. Even though he's 5 pips down, I think he'll be doubling, and I think will take, but it'll be close. At this score, I feel sure that this should be a double. He didn't agree with me, so we'll check that one out at 0-2. And if I am right again on these once tiny issues, I'll be selling both. I'll be selling ZZ a copy of my soon to come up book on my doubling traffic light system. Actually, it's not me. It's going to be Oliver's working on it on a much deeper level than I ever did, and I think he'll be the person. He'll be the person producing the book. Oliver has got a great understanding of this, my traffic light system, and he's taken it onto a further level, I believe. But he's only just, so we'll see. We'll give him time. And Oliver is, I don't know if everybody knows Oliver. He's a young man from England that is just improving rapidly, and certainly online. And I think he's going to be Grandmaster level. Actually, he already plays under 4 as a general rule, but I think he's going to prove the Grandmaster level in 2021. I feel confident. He's a young man improving rapidly and putting great effort and work in the game, and he seems to agree with my traffic light system and has taken it to a new level. So we will see. Okay, I'm getting texts, so I'm intrigued by this. Hopefully from Jeff again, telling me what about some of the cube action. Running with the 5-4 was a 200 blunder, or 60 blunder, and 100 blunder on plus. So yeah, so actually there's still a place for boring players like me in the backgammon world. 2-1. Thanks, Jeff. The updates are coming from Jeff Hall, a player who used to play in the past and is now studying massively and putting some great PRs in this year. There's a chance that there'll be a big improvement of a lot of players after lockdown, because we've all had so much more time to study than we had previously. And Jeff, I mean, I've been playing him head-to-head games, and his touch and go, you know, he's playing around 4 just over and improving at a rapid state. So he's another one that keep your eye on, Jeff. But he's only just a tiny bit younger than me, so he's not got as long as Oliver has to improve at an incredible scale. So now we've got Will has won this game. He has to decide if he's too good or not now, and he's definitely not too good now. And in fact, there's even a chance of him getting primed at 3-0. I think this is a nice time to throw a cube and see what ZZ does. And Will's with me, and ZZ doesn't take it. That again could be, but different because of the going to 4 away, 3 away. 3 away. Will is now 3 away, which as we talked about previously, isn't as attractive as being an even number away. So that might be the reason why ZZ passed so quickly. Okay. So it wants to turn around soon for ZZ, because at the moment ZZ's just experiencing what I've been experiencing recently. the relentless winning streak of Will Schnellings. Well, I hope I pronounced your surname right, Will. Sorry. The relentless winning streak of Wilx. You know, it's just, oh, you know, we've all experienced weak players getting lucky dice, but when somebody like Will gets lucky dice, it's just like it's it's just unbelievable. You get what you're seeing now, unbelievable sequences from an unbelievable player. So let's see, 1-6. So again, if the score wasn't as it was, Blue will be looking at a double here, but of course not when we're actually. Well, it's a shame. Oliver I was talking about before. I said next time I commentated that he should join me, but unfortunately I'm unable to screen share, so that's why you're having to listen to me. Hope I'm not talking too much. If any of my friends thinks I'm talking too much, send us a text and tell us to shut up. Tell me to shut up a bit, will you? Okay. I've got another text. ZZ was correct for the huge pass. It wasn't even close. It was a 400, and I thought it was a close decision. So congratulations, ZZ. And so they get. Oh yeah, all right. If you remember rightly, yeah, it was because it went to 3 away. I remember now. Yeah. Oh, right, okay. So I wasn't going to play that play. So I was going to play 21. Right, okay. So we're now. I've lost the track of who's doing what now. Sorry. 3-2 for Blue. Oh, he was considering doubling, but again at this score, he thought better of it, of course. Nothing wrong to think though. You don't get anything from playing and using and having loads of time left. You don't get anything so don't play too quick. Use your 10 seconds. You don't get anything for playing in 2 seconds instead of 10 seconds, and you don't lose anything for thinking about a difficult cube decision that other people think is obvious. They don't gain anything from you. It's getting the answer right is the only thing that matters. And I notice a lot of the Japanese superstars, they take even longer to make cube decisions. I think if I'm right, if I remember, I don't want to quote people wrongly, but as far as I'm aware, they have a rule that even the simplest decisions they have to think about for at least 12 seconds before doubling, and we can all learn a lot from them, as well as these two players. So that's my recommendation. Just have a rule: don't double or take. Don't. I know we saw ZZ snap taking before and completely correctly, but he didn't gain anything from that compared with somebody who took plenty of time to make that decision. You know, there's no prizes in backgammon for. There's just penalties for not playing quickly enough, but no reward for playing too quickly, for playing extremely quickly. Just don't be a selfish player who plays without a clock and takes 20 minutes for every move. But but apart from that, take as much time as the clock allows and use it to your advantage. Okay, are we anywhere near a cube situation? No, we're not. We're not. Because Blue's winning, and yet Blue's both got the advantage in the position, but unfortunately he's leading on the score sheet, and therefore has got to be a lot more careful with the cube decisions. All right, that was interesting. We'll know positionally he chose to keep contact with the back checker, and now he's getting the reward for it. So I'll study that position as well, just trying to understand why Will knew so easily to make that play. Now the race is favouring Will. I think he will play to the 14 point because it blocks better than being 7 away. But then he's got to make sure that that one checker, 1 point, doesn't hold too many. I would actually here play 14 to 12 2 and 13. Well, that's what I would have played. And the reason being, he wants to create contact, but he also doesn't want it to be too long because he knows that he's going to have to give up. He doesn't want to get into the position of one of Will's points holding up 2 of his. So that's why he played the 13-11 twice, because he was seeing 2 or 3 rolls in the future. Like the bot does, Costin. He sees the game in the future. I know you find that hard to believe, but it does. I wish I were. Oh, thanks, Justin. So a new friend of mine, Justin McKenna from certainly the west coast of America, and he's given me a bit of confidence booster. So thanks very much, Justin. I'm trying my best. Okay. (4-1). So clearly, ZZ is holding Will more than the other way around, but he misses the shot, and so I think that we're going to get a cube here, regardless of what it does. Even at this score, once gammons aren't in the picture, the cube action returns a lot more closely to normal scores. So even at this score, what's going to be the race difference? 9.69. We could well get a double take here because, and this is ZZ's trying to decide between keeping his board and creating maximum contact. It's a tough decision. The problem is if he plays 14 to 13 with 2, it's just that bit easier to get past. I'd have thought that was a cube, but we will see. Well, this is making it look like not a cube. So Jeff, will you just see how close Will was to a cube at when he was winning 4-0, when it became, after ZZ had missed the shot. Okay, so now we're sorry, I've lost track of this. I presume as somebody's thinking, it's obviously Will deciding whether to double it or not. I think this is a definite double. Whether it's a take or not is the question. The cube, it's, as I said, things revert very quickly to normal cube decisions when there are no gammons left and it's a straight race. So I think this is a clear double. Whether it's right, so again, if I've got that wrong, I've got that wrong, but I believe that was a clear double. It's actually possibly closer. So now he's got 2 off. Ooh. Interesting. I still think it's a double. Now 11 pip leads, but Blue's distribution now is much worse than White's. Another really tricky tip. This is a tricky one because certainly on pip count only, it's an easy pass, and he's also got 1 checker behind. But then we start to adjust 1 pip for the extra one on the 1 point. I've not got time to go through it all, but there's a lot of adjustments to be made that made ZZ a lot closer to the take. But I think it's probably a pass, but there were adjustments to it that had to be made that made it a lot closer to the take than normal. So we've got Will. This is a perfect game for Will. He wants a non-gammonish position, and even to the extent that this is a perfect game for Will. He wants a non-gammonish position and just try and win a straightforward easy game on without cubing. He won't be cubing. Almost right. Okay, this is just going better and better for Will. So what does he do? Right. Hopefully this will be the turnaround in ZZ's fortunes with the dice. That was certainly a great start for it. And the only reason I want the turnaround in dice is just to get a closest match as possible. And suddenly, I think this is a drop at this score. And my update It was only a 0.034 error not to double in the time I was saying that Wilx shouldn't be doubling. Only a small error, so no big deal. Thanks, Jeff, for the updates. The technical expertise being produced. We're not doing too bad. Well, it was being produced by the old-fashioned XG and texting service. And who would have thought when I was growing up that we'd consider a computerized somebody reading a computer and texting information on a text, we consider it old-fashioned. But that's where we are now. Things have moved on so much. All you young ones will never know what you've got with your texts and your and all your computerized abilities you have these days. So let's have a look. 5-2. This is getting hard for Will to play. In fact, this is a double at this score because Will's position is just so. The strength of White's. This is a clear. I think this is a double pass, whatever Will does, but we will see. He's got the anchor, which will tempt him, and ZZ didn't even double. Now, if I'm right again, you have to buy Oliver's upcoming book on the Tim Cross and Oliver Squire and whoever else has joined and helped us on cubing doubling decisions, because it's about the only thing I'm getting anywhere close to right compared with these two geniuses. Okay, 6-1, tough play. Oh, so hang on, somebody has cubed. Maybe I'm. It reminds me of when me, Rory, who else was? Ray Fogeland and I can't remember who else. We were all commenting. We were talking for. Oh yeah, Chris and Chris were commentating, and we were all talking for about 10 minutes about why somebody had missed a double, and then one of us said. Chris Trencher, yeah, sorry, Chris, I couldn't remember you saying it for a second. And somebody said, well, hang on, hasn't the cube been turned already 5 goals ago? And we'd been talking about this bad lack of cube decision for about 3 minutes. It's on the Facebook page, Backgammon Commentary Awards, if anybody wants to look at it. We need to do that, talking about Rory, Carter, if you're around and listening, and Jesper. We said we were going to run a commentary awards, and we've just not pushed it forward. It needs to do. There's definitely a demand for it. People like and it will be on in honour more than partially of the wonderful, the amazing falafel. So we need to get on with pushing that. So if anybody sees any of Jesper, Rory, or Carter, or me, just say, "Come on, lads, what are you doing with this?" Commentary awards. There's some funny ones. There's some mistakes. There's some incredible insights that come from it. We can definitely do an awards. And Falafel was a great commentator, and it's one of the ways we have of remembering him. Okay, so 3-2 for blue. Going okay. Now, more than a chance of a gammon here. So, what does I can't say anything more than just playing both in from the 12 point. I don't know what ZZ's thinking of, to be honest. I don't know why that's not an easy decision for him. Right, so he obviously thought it was better to go. So it was only one less shot to leave it outside. So, but anyway, obviously he knows better. And in return, it was a lot easier to clear, but he's cleared it now anyway. Oh, well, what am I doing wrong? All right. Oh, so sure I agree with what ZZ did over the last couple of rolls. Oh my god! And Wilx has turned it round again. We could what else would he do apart from roll a double three? He's the star. Okay, and Will relentlessly keeps on winning these matches. That's 3-0. Has he won another PR battle? I mean, I know both of them will be actually more bothered about the PR battle than the actual results aspect of this, but the results obviously count just as highly as the PR battle. So will be just trying to. I think he'll save. Oh, difficult. My play is to that play. And I said that well timed. Right, okay, so now there's just a one shot. Needs to be a 4-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 or 6-1, or else this is game over. Oh, not 6-1, come on, this is your chance. And he's hit. And he's hit. Is this the turnaround we've all been looking for a really exciting match series? Well, I would go as far as slotting. Get it done. And he's done it. And he's got the reward now. So let's just, if you could just roll this home, ZZ, where this third match is still alive. Now at this time, ZZ's got loads of time left on his clock, so he doesn't need to rush. He has to acknowledge that he will probably take one off here because it'll only be equal, and he is scared of the double six, and it's more of a risk than opening up. Oh, there we are, the double six, and Will's again not giving in easily. ZZ's more than slight favourite because he's got here we go. Only one more double from Will. Oh. He'll save it for the last go. No, he didn't. Sorry, Will. You're not. I'm so used to it in all my crushings I've been getting recently. Okay, so it's now 3-5. So this is the most active score. It needs 2, needs 4, or needs 4. So ZZ will be absolutely desperate to get that cube in play, and Wilx will be the total opposite, desperate for it. He won't be doubling until almost any point in this game. So I would say the odds were about 6 or 7 to 1 on. There's an interesting bet that White will be the first person to put the cube over here. It's probably not true, but I've never actually looked at it. But basically, well, certainly in the first 5 rolls, the odds must be about 10 to 1 on that White will be doubling first. Now, that's why said that didn't play the simple play, because he wanted a complicated game. He wants to get this. He wants at some point to put a tricky cube in. Again, I don't know why Will's just not playing the simple bar 20, 13, 10, but we'll see. Why? What can Will be thinking about that's? Maybe there's so many. I don't know. Maybe he thinks there's 2 ways to play safely, and one of them is to play aggressively to stop having time. See, but this now means that if I was White, I will cube because at this score, because there are blocks around, and it can quickly change. whereas I wouldn't have cubed the safe play. Maybe it was a cube provocation play by Will for mugs like me. I don't know. So 6-4 for white, and again I'd just be playing the yeah. Was it? I can't remember. It was either some kind of commentator was talking about some kind of sport and saying they are playing a game or a sport of which I am not accustomed, and certainly some of these great plays make me think that. But I'm trying and I won't give up. So it's 5-1 for white, and we'll be playing. What does white do? I always want to move the back two checkers when I'm not sure what to do. But then again, see, the problem is Will's got spares on all his important hitting points. So there was not particularly one point that you wanted to be hit on more than another. Now Will's just going to slot the back of the prime, I think. Yes, he did do. What does blue do? Well, with that, it was interesting because of the blot. At what point does ZZ double? Not a bit too early yet. Tough plays again for both players here. How aggressive do they be? How defensive do they be? It's affected by the score is such a big effect on plays from all sides in this in this game. You know, at what point does ZZ just throw the cube? And is it possible to look, Jeff, if there's been any cube plays on this, or is it's too much to ask, I suppose? Now ZZ's thinking of it because, but at least, but will it take easily, and it's possible. So now ZZ is really, of course he wouldn't even be considering a double at anything other than this score. I don't particularly think he's much stronger than he was a couple of rolls ago, but obviously it's a bit more volatile with threes being so huge. And he has doubled, but this is going to be an easy snatch for Will. Okay, but now blocks everywhere for Will. So much so that he has to consider, incredibly, playing safe at this score. Fantastic backgammon, fantastic learning backgammon. If you know, basically what's going on in Will's head now is, can I really hit when I'm going to get gammoned many times if my opponent rolls a 3? And he's done it, and he's done it, and he might pay the price for it, because now Will desperately needs a 3 to avoid getting gammoned. Right now, of course, he knocks him off the 3-point. Does he stay there is the question, and I think he doesn't need to. I think he can win without making the 3-point. So my play will be 6 to 3 to 1. He absolutely will. The only question ZZ is asking himself is, do I play 6 to 3 and stay there? He's played 6 to 3 to 1. Double 6. that's still good for Will. Oh, but now, oh no, oh come on. All right, he may even pick up all 4 checkers here, because if he doesn't get, because as the easiest way of clearing up if he gets missed. Now this is incredible backgammon that is just not. You see these positions so few. We have a wonderful game that we all play. Yeah, unfortunately, ZZ. I think Jeff is telling me that. Oh no, I don't know who's right. Sending me emails. Right, so yes, he's gone for it, and has he got the reward? He has. Oh come on, ZZ. I love that play. I love that play. So let's see. Will he get rewarded with a gammon? Well, okay. He only has 1 point to clear now. I love that 2-2 ZZ. Maybe it was easy, but I thought it was a great play. So, can Will run this off? I think it's tough. I think it's very tough. Oh, he's getting the double sixes now though, so he doesn't waste any pips here. Just make sure you don't waste any pips. 5-1, 2-1. Now, Will can stay because there are backgammons just don't matter. I think he's conceded already. I think that's a tiny bit early. But I could. No, that's it. Okay, now they see where they both played. Again, a tough match. In all the time I played Will, in 10 matches recently, he's never been above 3.2. And now he does this against somebody else. Just my luck. But anyway, wonderful from ZZ. Tough match. And then we'll just have a quick look through the cube decisions, and then we'll take it from there. But that was a win from ZZ on both scores, so that makes the score 3-all with 2 matches to play. So we're going to have a break and I'll have a quick look through the analysis. Okay, surprising number of errors on game 1 straight away, obviously. 5-2. Okay, we'll just look through the blunders, and then I'll have a 5-minute break myself. But then, of course, they got back onto good position. 5-4, a blunder 4. Yeah, I commented at the time, there's nothing more to do here than just make a point in board. And that turned out to be correct. 3-1. A tough double. Now, a drop by... So, blue doubled and white should have dropped. Now, yes, why you should take in these positions is this gap here is so painful for blue to try and clear. It's almost, not quite, it's like as if he had a 4-5 back game. A 4-5 or back game or holder game, whatever you call a 4-5 game. And that is that aligned with the fact that it was already 2-0 to Will, meant that that it was a take. Game 3, double 3 for blue. And 1372. Oh, that's correct. Oh, but blue had this was the point where blue had the double, and I said that blue must have missed the double at some point, and this was it. Let's see what the the detail of the missed double was. Not a massive missed double. No. 130. Oh yeah, 130. Yeah, it shows down there. Okay, then we go to game 4. Well, I certainly didn't see this. That was my play as well. But it would rather put a checker on the bar. So that an understandable mistake by ZZ. But you're so often better having an opponent's checker on the board, even at the cost of not having your own 5 point. Okay, so at 4-0, yeah, this is where I said Will had a double. It's just too big a race lead not to double. And also, the other thing to remember, of course, is you don't have to be quite as careful about doubling when there's no gammons involved. Now, a very tough decision for if you remember, I didn't quite have enough time to make my own calculation, but there's so many adjustments, and the score adjustment meant that it looked like it was a take, but a tough decision. Let's just look at the detail of the cube. So it was 77% wins and 78% and 22, which is enough at this score to take. But it was a tough decision. It needed altering. I think I'd already started altering the pip count. I'm adding. I use my own formula, and I add 1 pip for the extra one on the 1 point, 1 each for the extra ones on the 2. That's 3. Then the gap, so that's another 4, and this one looks too stacked for me as well compared with this back. So I'm adding about 5 or 6 pips onto blues, and then the hole on the 6 point. So I'm adding 6 to 7 pips, but then I'm subtracting 1 for the extra one off. In fact, actually, that 3 point hole is more serious than that. So I'm making it about. I'm altering the pip count by about 6 or 7. So I'm making it like about a 45 pip count in my head. But you've got to don't try and follow my advice. Just learn Thorpe or learn one of the formulas for yourself, and then if you want to do fancy adjustments that I try and do them at a later date. But just learn one at Keith counter. Most people seem to go by. So I don't know what Keith count would have this as, but the Tim Cross count would have managed to get this as just as a bare take at this score. But it was quite hard. So go for. I would advise all improvers and players to have the Keith count, and then once you start to reach Grandmaster or Giant level, you then can look at a Keith count and decide for yourself the slight adjustments to the Keith count needs. That's basically what I do. I have my own formula, and then I adjust it. For example, I added only 1 pip for the gap on the 3 point, and then I quickly realised, hang on a sec, this is much more than a 1 pip gap. This is about a 2 or 3 gap. So, but only experience could tell you that. Somebody like older giants and older grandmasters are well capable of that experience, I presume. Even if some do just rely on the Keith count totally, but you can tell which gaps. You know, the problem with things like the Keith count or even my own formula or other people's formula, the problem with them is they have to have the same penalty for all kinds of positions. Right, and there are some gaps that are worse than other gaps. Right, I apologise. I hope I'm not told to miss the start of the next match. I do talk too much, sorry. Oh, no matches in play. I have a break. Okay, just give me 1 minute and I'll be back. Okay. sweetheart. Okay, I'm back. And for all anybody that's joined us just recently, the commentator is feeling a bit sore. He's just played Wilx in 10 matches where he played between 0.36 and 3.1. And then when he plays ZZ, he plays at 5.6. So I'm feeling a bit badly done to. I think that's a real extreme for Will, and it won't happen very often. Two incredible players, ZZ and Wilx, and we're back to 3 points all in the challenge of the super player, the top great players for the crown of Galaxy. It's 3 points all, 2 matches to play, PR and wins count. At the moment, ZZ's winning 2-1 on the PR stakes, and Will is winning 2-1 in the results stakes, so it couldn't be closer with 2 games to play. Excuse me. I wish I had more interactive with people listening. Some people could, but unfortunately I can't access the, if there is any chat going on, I can't access it, I'm afraid. I'm not ignoring anybody. I'd like a bit more interaction, but in the meantime I'm just going to rabbit on. Oh, I've got a coffee on its way again. Thanks, sweetheart. Okay, we're waiting. So if either Z... Oh, 1 minute. Will's just messaged me to say 1 more minute. So thanks very much, Will, if you're listening. And they'll be started again in 1 minute's time. Again, a quick update of the 2 players. Will, who is ex-#1 giant, come back into the game about 2 or 3 years ago. Incredible standard. He was my slight favourite for the match at the start of the match. ZZ's holding his own though. It's 3 points all out of with 10. So there's only 4 more points to be played for this battle of the crown. So it could literally go either way at this point. So we are looking forward to it. I can see the game on, and so let's join them for match 4 of our 5-match series. Yeah, it's 4-4 for Will. That was a massive turnaround, if you remember. Will only needed to clear 1 point to win the match, and he didn't do it early on. And so backgammon is a tough game. It can change just on a finger click, on just one small decision. You know, one small dice decision. Okay, and now blue is seriously ahead in this position. In fact, it's definitely a double and a very tough take, I would say. Is it a take? That's the hard thing. ZZ confidently says no. I do feel, and I'm sure that Mochi would push him, that he does make his decisions very quickly on his cube decisions. So if I was to give somebody as good as ZZ advice, it would be just to slow down a tiny bit when you're making a decision. You don't get any prizes for making your decisions quickly, and so I would say just slow down a tiny bit. 6-4, so we're obviously with the bar point made, and 6-5. Now this is a closer game with both players having certain advantages positionally. ZZ having escaped his back checker, that's certainly an advantage, but blue having the awkward 2 point. But then there's benefits of blue. You know, blue's got an attack on the back checker if the dice roll kindly for him. So we're still in a very close position in this position. He's obviously deciding whether to slot the 4 point or not. That's the hard decision in this play. I think it's a bit big, but who knows? These two, I know ZZ even more than Will likes to play extremely pure, that's what I've seen of recent times. It could explain why he's and he has done what I predicted. It could explain why he's such an incredibly strong, fast speed player, because he's got a consistent style. So when he's playing speed, he would have slotted that 4 point really easily, because it comes naturally to him. And you know, when you have a style, it is a bit easier to play speed. Okay, so we're still in it's not 100% certain who's winning, so I don't think the cube's close at this moment in time. But blue has got that horrible 23 point anchor, but it's better than nothing. So blue will probably put all 3 checkers on the 5 point. That will be my play. No, he had a bit more flexibility than I chose. So white on roll. I still think it's a bit too early to double with that checker back. I think I will be just escaping that into the outfield and then putting in a powerful double, a powerful non-gammonish, don't forget, double. So I don't think he needs to. I don't think that if he rolled, say, a 6-5, he will have lost his market by that much. Obviously, he will have lost his market, but not by a crazy. It's only a 6-2 where the market will be so totally a double 6. But he chose not to, and now he'll be glad, because that is not good. He'll be making the ace point, yes. Right. Oh, and now another tricky decision. Does he make the 5 point board, or does he? I think he doesn't. I think he makes the bar point and brings another builder into play. But we will see. So I'm playing all 3 to the bar point. I don't want to give him 6s. Oh, wow. And Will finds a play bigger than I can even imagine. Oh, and now Andy gets the reward for it. Great, incredible stuff. They've got technical ability, imagination. They've got it all. Well, certainly, yeah. Both Will and ZZ have. Incredible. I didn't even see that play, so I'm looking forward to seeing it when I'm going through the later. When I go through that match. So I can remember 1-0. Will's play immediately before the double. Somebody else sent me a text. Okay, and now Jeff has told me we've got 140 people watching. Jeff, for all the new players watching, Jeff is our is doing the XG and sending me the results by text. We are, which I was making a joke before that. I can't believe that once upon a time that's now seen as slightly old-fashioned, but in my day that was we wouldn't believe how the technology we can all use. So that's 4-2 to Blue, and it's obviously a straightforward 4-2. 2-0 to Wilx again. He starts again with a strong win. Now 6-1. This is tough. Does he hit 6-5? Of course he does. And then we're double one. So that played itself as well, really. So now we'll make the 5 point and decide what to do with the 3. The split, of course. Now, does white hit or make his bar point? Okay. And sorry, the other thing Jeff told me was that there's 140 people watching. That's great, really great. These are two, and we've got some of the top players in the world playing at the moment. We've got this match between Zdenek and Will, and we've got the UBC coming up that's being played over this weekend, I believe, but it's only being released on stream over the period of the next few weeks. So that's an exciting match to look forward to. The two more, in my strong opinion, that's 4 of the top 10 players in the world all playing big matches. So let's let's just enjoy the talent they have, and see what happens. Now a tough double 4 for ZZ. Of course he wants a 5 prime, but he chose. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the hit. Sorry, I'm losing. I need to concentrate a bit more. That's 2 players I've completely overlooked. So where are we? We have ZZ doubling as white, and I think that's a strong double and a pass. 2, he wasn't quite good enough to be too good to double because he had his 2 checkers back that needed to, so he had to be a bit careful. Double 6. Escape 1 and make the bar point. Solid position. No need to do anything more than that. That gives him a very powerful position that Blue needs to do something strong with. I think hitting on the ace point just gives Will too many easy equalising throws. So I think the 8 point and the 7 point are just clear, but we'll see. See, hitting on the ace point, if Blue, well, what's he done now? Right, okay. Of course now Will has equalised. So 6-3. With Will being so far in the race, he will not be playing to the 13 point. He wants to create as much contact as possible. Has ZZ got a double now, or does he wait 1 roll before he doubles? That's the question. Maybe. I mean, the thing is, it's a comfortable take for Will, so I think he'll, and he's now glad he has, because he hasn't. He will actually now be playing to 13 and 2-1. Oh, well, no, he didn't. Double 2. He must want to play 6-4 with 2, but he also wants to play, unless he plays really big and plays 6-4 with 2 and 13-11 with 2. You know, putting as they said, putting the checkers where you want them, but there is a price to pay for that. Which is direct 1s and 4s, and Blue has a 3 point board. So these are the kind of things that are going through Blue's head at the moment, and he did decide to be a bit more cautious, and understandably so. So now blue has a 2-1. He just starts to build his board a bit more, and he just stays away. I don't think he wants to play to the 22 point, but we'll see. It will definitely, whatever he does, the 5 point will be made. And he did decide that it was more of a hindrance to white on the 23 point than the 21 point. Will. So now blue with a 4-2 to play. Blue's decision is a lot based now on what he does with his back checker. Is it an asset or a liability? At the moment, Will is still considering it more of an asset, and so is not going to make the 20 point. He's not going to. Now again, he's making the same decision. I think he will have to give up on the. He has to play some checker, and 6-1 seems too committal, especially when he wants to make the 3 point so badly. So I think he's going to play out like he did. Now the reason was he just did not want to play with another checker short. So he's just going to again have to run this round. He can't afford to leave 2 checkers causing contact, just in case they both got picked up and he got gammoned. Right, now I reckon he's going to come out to the 17 point and try and win from that position. I was wrong. 4-1 to white. He's got to play safe. He can't leave direct shots. Will is holding the cube with a 2-1 lead. So whichever way, white can't play safe. I can't leave a shot. Now Will continues to build his board, and the welcoming committee, as I call it, is well and truly in place in case a shot does get hit. So here we are. So now he's missed the indirect shot. He can afford to run though now. Is there much to gain by staying? Don't know. Possibly. Wow. Outside chances of the gammon with this play, with this roll. So he absolutely makes the 5 point without question. I think there's no other play than just bringing both in. I know that leaves bad 3s, but what can we do? I don't. He might shift, but even if he shifts to the 3 point, that leaves bad 3s. So I don't see anything beyond 7-5 with 2. He certainly has to play for the gammon because there are gammons to be played for. And Jeff might remember me of the formula. I think is it 5% plus 1 outside for everyone out, plus 2 for outside. So that's 6, 7, 14, 19 or 20% is my theory. If you get a closeout, wow, he didn't go for the gammon. Don't agree with that at all. Could be wrong. And this race is far from over. Bad distribution for white. He might get punished badly for that play. If it indeed was wrong, I don't know. If indeed it was wrong. I thought it was clear to go for the gammon, but good roll from ZZ. But this is where the holes in will be buried. Oh, that's it. Anyway, no big deal. And if he may have got the play correct anyway, but we will see later. Jeff, if you get a chance to have a look at that 1-1, I'd appreciate it. Oh, we have a text. No, he's just reminding me of the. He's just reminding me of the formula, which I got correct. 5% plus 14 it was, which is 29. So it's 5% for one checker on the blower plus 2% for every additional for every pip outside. Outside it is. So that was 7 times 2, 14 plus the 5 is 19. Okay, so it's 5-4. So I'd be interested in that double one play from ZZ. I didn't like it, but who am I to argue with these guys? 4-3, make the anchor, make the 5 points, and double sit and play a much more simple game that'll hopefully bring us back to the PRs that we're knowing and expecting from these two. Now, ZZ's got a strong double, and in fact, I think it's a pass. It is. So now we're 4-2. And Zed's, and now, as I've been saying, according to my traffic light system that I'm working on with Oliver, we've got to be slightly, Zed's got to be slightly cautious, and Will has got to be slightly ambitious and aggressive with the cube. The double one play by ZZ was correct. Fantastic play. I thought that was really tough. I wanted to go for the gammon by hitting you off the hitting, but ZZ got it right. Great player, ZZ. Great play. Six. I see one of my friends just texted me to say that he's watching some quality football instead of watching this. You don't know what you're missing, Lawrence Jones. Okay, now this is much more awkward because of the match score. What the cube action? But said, if it was any other score, it's doubling anyway, and this is tricky. A tricky decision for both players. They made it quickly. They're both confident. Now, there are gammon. That'll be interesting as well. That cube action. So 5-3, and there are and ZZ is playing for the gammon. He obviously makes the 5 points, and let's see what happens. So strong chance of this match being all over quickly, but it's backgammon, as we know. Ace point games win a lot. Apparently there's a fantastic football match going on between Man United and Leeds United. So, nobody can tell me unless they want to text me the result. But this is much more interesting anyway, much more interesting to me. Watching these two play, and some like ZZ's double one and how he thought about it, and I thought the decision was easy, and it turns out to be ZZ could see deeper and it was right. It's just wonderful to see, and like I say, I don't need any. I've both played against these players and watched them play, and it's a great experience. That's why they're number 1 and 2 in Galaxy, because they both are geniuses and they've taken it seriously. But they would be in the top. Galaxy's had a lot of criticism for the top, for who's at the top, and of course Mochi isn't number 1 or 2 because he hasn't got time to be top of every list. But no, give me a list that is absolutely perfect. I don't know of one. Galaxy has been a great addition to our backgammon community, and we've got the UBC out of it. We've got an interesting, and we've got clocked things. I've got to give a small shout out. We all know we're on Galaxy, so I don't want to, but we all know another site that's also a great site that uses clocked as well. But thanks to Galaxy and Heroes for getting this thing going for our community. Brilliant stuff, and we really appreciate it, Mark. 6-3. So this could all be over. I don't think he'll make the 1 point. I think he'll wait until he can make the 2 point. Now, does ZZ play safe? I think he tricky because he desperately wants the gammon. He really wants the gammon, but then again, somebody else has sent me a text. Sorry, I'm just reading my text. Hopefully it's to do with this. ZZ, in this last one, ZZ doubled. It was actually a small pass. But it's a one. Oh, that's a great roll by ZZ. So what does Will do? Backgammons don't matter. I don't think he can run this off, so I think he might. I think he should stay. I think he should stay. But now he goes with one, hoping to pull off the coup classique. Now that's what he's not going to get a chance of that. And ZZ wins. So that's another win for ZZ. So at the worst, ZZ's going to be all square after this one. And let's see what the PR battle is between the two of them. Oh, now Will, he took my telling off for playing a 5. This is more like he plays it when he's playing against me. Superhuman 1.06. That's much more like we're used to seeing from Will. 4 all, 1 match to play. Unbelievable stuff. 1.06, that's what I'm used to seeing Will produce. And ZZ 2.92, wonderful play. So we're getting what the treat we deserved. It's now 2 matches all, 2 wins all, 2 PRs all. It's a tight battle for the crown, and hopefully we've got one more game to play, and then and that'll be it. I just need that confirmation from. I'll actually message Will, or can somebody contact Will for me and just confirm that? I'll just send him. I'm just a bit scared of sharing my Facebook with everybody watching, but I'll have to do it. No, I don't want to. I don't want to in case I get it wrong. So can somebody please confirm to me that there's going to be a 5th match, and that will be the 5th match that's a decider. That's what I thought, but it was just with the way ZZ said fair enough 4 all. So it's just wonderful, you know. It's 2 all PR and 2 all in match results. So it's just great stuff. Okay, I'll go through the analysis, but there's not going to be much to it. I think I mentioned. I think thanks to Jeff, we had a couple of first game no errors or blunders for either player. There's going to be a lot like this. Second game, no errors or blunders from either player. Game 3, a small error from Zdenek. Double 4. All right. Yeah. Was this the one where I said I couldn't even imagine? I couldn't see it quick enough to play. It might have been. Oh yeah, because he left a shot that I was surprised by. Okay, game 4. Oh, an error. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay, I got that one. I thought it was clear, just to bring them up to the 8 point and make the 7 point. I don't know why Zdenek tried to make it more complicated than that. You know, escaping one checker with a 24 pip lead and having a tiny positional advantage. It's also close to a double. You don't need to do much else. Fundamentally, Blue was left needing a really good throw to stop the cube coming immediately the next roll, whatever he did. So that's why I didn't agree with. I don't think. Let me just say, would double 2 have stopped the cube? I think White it might have stopped the cube, to be fair. So yeah, so I didn't like that play from ZZ. But as we also found, there were a lot more players that I questioned that turned out to be played perfectly by both players. There's a certain lack of any markings on Will's plays. We found one here. 13 to 7-2. Oh, no, this was the one where I asked for him to come out from the 20 to 17 point. But that doesn't look like it was the correct play. The correct play was 10 to 4, 6 to 3, and 5 to 2. It just didn't want to give up the midpoint, because giving up the midpoint makes it so much easier for white to clear. So XG is just keeping hold of that midpoint, even at the cost of losing the 6 point. Surprising. A good reference position that for us about when white only has the midpoint to clear. How important the combination of the 13. I don't know if anyone can see my arrow, but the combination of the 13 point and the 20 point are actually so important that we don't want to give up the 3 point. And that's you often see as well grandmasters playing and leaving only one checker there, even though they can be hit, because it still causes problems for white. When he rolls a 6-2, for example, if there's no checkers there, he can just play safe and leave an 8. But if that checker's there, he has the dilemma. He's leaving 1s and 8s, which is a lot more, and that makes it. That's why. So that's the reason for the power of the combination of the 20 and 13, which also explains why there's so many of those kind of positions that it takes. Okay, game 5. Game 5. Missed cube from white. Yeah, it looks a pretty easy cube to me, that. Big advantage. I think I pointed it out actually. It's a big advantage for white. Like I say, who am I to? I'm not having a go at Zidane. I'm just giving him friendly advice. I just believe he should follow Moch's rule of always taking time on any cube decision, even when they're obvious. I think he when he's teaching his fellow countrymen that if I'm rightly, he has a rule that nobody's allowed to double or take in less than 12 seconds. That might just be a story, a made-up story, but it sounds good anyway, and it's good advice for everybody. Okay, so I hope we're coming up to the next game soon. Like I say, not many things to report on that match because they played so brilliantly. No matches in play, so hopefully we'll be able to decide. Can somebody just please confirm that we are playing 5 matches, and that if it's 5-all, are we going to have a 1-pointer or a 3-pointer as a decider, or are we just going to leave it as a honourable draw to both? Okay, let me just look if I've got any texts or anything from my technical man, Jeff Hall. Another player that's going to surprise a lot of people when the new live season, the live series come, improving at a massive rate. So we will see. Can anybody give me a heads up on how long they're likely to be? I'll see if I can go on Messenger. Oh, I better not. I'm just scared of losing everybody for the last match. I better just not play with my computer or not touch it. So hopefully they're ready soon to play the 5th match. Would somebody contact me please and let me know if there is going to be a 5th match for sure, and the second thing, if it turns out to be 5-all, are they going to play a decider? if somebody messages, the reason I don't want to message either Zdenek or Will is in case I lose all connection and we miss this final match. So I'd appreciate if anybody's got my mobile number, who if they'd contact the and find out what's actually happening, because I don't know. My expectation is that they play one more match and that's it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on my other computer. Yeah, Will's just messaged me to say they're playing in one more. They are playing. Thanks, Bogidar. I hope I pronounced your name, Bogidar, correctly. We're friends on Facebook, and I really like a lot of Bogidar's comments on backgammon, on the Facebook problems. He knows what he's talking about, that's for sure. So thanks for that update. I'm going to message Will and ask him if he's going to play a decider if it's 5-all, or they're going to play a short decider if it's 5-all. I've just messaged Will asking him that, and obviously they're going to. But obviously it might not get to 5-all, so they're playing one more match. So we'll find out at the end of the match anyway. Right, they're here and they're starting. So this is turning out to be the match we all expected. 4 points all with one match to play. Incredible backgammon, and they're both playing at now 3-2. Nothing's easy in this game. What does he do? He desperately wants to come up, but he can't. He's not got time. 5-3. Oh, great! That's a hit. That he'll definitely run out and hit with that. Good. Oh, that's so strong. Now it's a double and probably a pass already. So Will looks like he's taken an early lead to me. He can't be too good, not with the two anchors. I can't see this anything but being a double pass. I could be. There's no way Will be using psychology against somebody as good as. But it's a take. So I've got that one quite wrong. Can you look at that, Jeff, just to confirm that it's an easy take, or it's a take, game one between game one of the third game. So obviously there'll be an anchor being made that is made, and blue plays safely now. And obviously it's a take now, but I really thought at the score I really thought it was a drop, but we'll find out. These guys can't be bullied. Can't be. So Will wasn't using psychology anyway. And now there's a shot, so straightforward. He knew what shot he had to leave, and ZZ has easily justified, well, more than justified the. In fact, this cube could well be coming back immediately. this match could be all over in no time. Amazing stuff. This looks a scary cube, in my opinion, and it's very volatile. So twos absolutely lose white's market. So, and then again, it can turn around the other way quickly. Again, I'd be interested in some like Kaz's advice on what he thought the cube action was here. Is it simple or not? Well, that was ZZ's with me now. Oh, and Will drops. Interesting. All very interesting first game. The first game was interest mainly from the cube from both sides. So, like I say, I wouldn't even have taken a ZZ. But obviously, Z got the result he wanted. Of course, ZZ was right and I was wrong. It was a very easy take. So, 1-1. 2-2. So let me just get my bearings. So 2-0 to 5, not as big a difference as 2-0 to 7, not as big a difference in cube action as 2-0 to 5, but still a small difference in will be slightly more aggressive than normal, and Zdenek will be slightly more cautious, but hardly noticeable at these scores. But noticeable nonetheless. Right, 2-2. Oh, talk about getting the reward for blocking 6s. He certainly got that. Now what does blue do here? If he hadn't have blocked the 6s, it would have been an incredible shot. So 6 for blue. Tough play, tough play. He obviously, I think I might be tempted to hit on the ace point, because just to try and slow white down in some way. I can't, there's no play that's naturally grey, and at least hitting on the ace point takes half of white's roll away, and 1 in 9 times takes the whole roll away. So I think, only because I'm struggling for anything else, it's the only positiveness there is. What else do you do? Slot, 3 down and slot. That's not bad either. Oh, I do wish I had feedback. I'd be interested in other people's views on this. It's very interesting. So my play would be to hit on the ace point to at least get some kind of. But the slot is a more pure play, and that's what Will's chosen to do. So there's pressure on, there's different kinds of pressure, and now Will's play put pressure on white to either hit the block or, 5-all. So now, okay, so this is a clear, is this too good is the only question now. And so we're now 3-0 to got some more feedback. The 13, the 6, they were both equal plays. So my play of making the ace point and Will's play were identical. The advantage of mine was, of course, to just slow white down, but Will's play was technically was pure and put all his checkers in the right play, as they say, in the right place, as they say, and it did put pressure on ZZ to do something, but he did it. Okay, so 2-6. I would have thought blue needs to get his back checkers moving, but no, I was wrong again. It was I'm sorry, they're moving so fast I'm struggling to keep up. So this is straightforward 2 plays. But again, white has a significant advantage here. I think he has to wait. Oh, and now he has a choice. Does he hit or does he make the 4 prime? Nothing easy in this game. Nothing easy. That's my play. Yeah, I wouldn't have made the 4 prime is just too valuable. And we're starting to look at, is white good enough? It needs 4, and so at needs 4, he doesn't have to be that cautious. I think white should double. Maybe he should have doubled last roll. You know, needing 4, even when with a lead, is scary to take. You don't, the problem is, you don't want to get to 3 away, because then the cube decisions are so hard. So you do double quite aggressively at 4 away, but you have to take, when you've got a big lead, you also have to be careful as well. So 2, does he double now? The 5 prime will definitely be a market loser. But yeah, he does. So what does, and that's a 5 prime. So now Sony is just hoping to counter prime. So I think he'll probably make the, okay, so now that's a full 6 prime. So Will has got a real dilemma now. Does he play to win? Does he play to avoid being gammoned? What is his strategy? Not easy at all. I think I would have hit on the 2. Ah, dear, oh dear. Right, okay, what's happening? 3 and pick up. 3 and 1. This is incredible. So it's actually turned big. Well, that double 6 was a disastrous roll, and it's turned. So how I think Will might pick and pass, because he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be hit on the 3 point. So it wasn't as I predicted. I thought this could well have been the cube high or the game all over in one go, but it's looking more like we're just going to play. It's going to go to a straightforward win for white, but that never seems to happen between these two. So it can still go either way. And what does blue do when he hits? When he throws a hitting shot, does he go for it? Of course he does. Of course he does. But it would have increased the excitement, that's for sure. So blue won't be coming out. He won't be coming out and risking the gammon. So I think this is pretty straightforward. 11 to 6, and well, and then even the 1's not straightforward. So he played the more sensible one. So where are we now? And blue has to go. So how much race chances has? I don't think he's got enough. So I think white can play safely. And now what does blue do? Does he make his board, or does he have to worry about gammons? He made his board, and 5-1, and it's getting worse for white. White now has to pick up, and now blue comes in. Blue's not going to get gammoned. Blue's feeling, ironically, even though white's still favourite, blue's feeling more comfortable here. It's one of the strange things about backgammon. ZZ will be really concerned about about shots he leaves now, but he's still actually favourite. So 5-1 for blue. 6-4, it's good enough. It's not, just plays itself, not a problem. And ZZ now is glad he had the things on his side. He should be okay, barring a couple of big rolls from Will, to go to 5-0. And ZZ isn't going to lose 5. Sorry, ZZ will be in a strong position at 5-0. And if he can win this game, the worst that can happen is that he's drawn the Battle of the Crown. For anybody just joining us, the score is 4 points all. So if either of them win the match and the PR, they've won the crown for this version of the crown for 2020. If where are we now? And that's all over. But if one of them wins the match and one wins the PR, then the crown is tied, and then we have to decide whether we're going to have a very short playoff. I've messaged Will to ask him if that's what he wants to do, but it's too premature to make a decision until we know it's a tie at 5-all, which is, anything can happen. But we will play it at one point something, one last game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a tie. I played him plenty enough, and just and seen his PR between 0.3 and 3 to realise you don't take anything for granted when you're playing Will. So 4-1. What does White do now? I think he continues to hit to just get a bit of time, just to stop Blue doing anything too positive. He can clearly take, even if he hits. Blue's still only got 2, 4, 6, 8 in the zone. So, but he chose to. Where did he hit? I missed the hit. Useless 10. Okay, 5-4. Okay, safe he played. Now Blue will be doing the opposite and playing aggressively. Now White hits. So White's big favourite in this game, but he's not able to double because of the score. He will be doubling hardly at all. So what does White do? Does he carry on picking up checkers and letting Blue get a back game? I think he might as well, because again, he's not under any pressure to double, and any gammons he does luckily get will win him the match. So I would just for now just continue hoovering them up like he did do. I didn't see his slot play though. That's what makes that, again, something else that differentiates him from players like me. Double hit. Right. Okay. So now. White will be trying to stop Blue getting 2 good anchors. 5-1. He doesn't mind him having the 5-1 because that's one of the weakest combinations you do have of two back game positions. 2-point holding positions. So he will be trying to stop him making either the 23 or 22 or the 2 and 3 points. But how he goes about that is questionable. So, and Blue has always got the chance of winning going forward. So there's so many different things going on all the time in this crazy world we have of backgammon. This is why these players play at 2.5 to 3, 2.5, more like 2.5, and so many of us struggle to get anywhere near that kind of level. So double 2. So of course he comes in. I think he must only play with 1 blot, and so I feel he must safety up the other checker, and then just any final 2, which is probably 6-4. But no, he's prepared to play with 2 blots. See, it's because Zdenek was going all out to stop, to keep Will with just the worst 2-point holding game, which is a 1 point and 5 point. So that was what was going on there, and why ZZ was taking the risks that I wasn't advocating. But that I understand the reason why he was doing it. So he's got a double 1 to play. So already, even at this point, because Will's deciding whether he wants to try and win going forward and consider hitting, he was even considering hitting on the 2 point. So I think he could well bring 2 down, because the battle for the 5 point is massively important here. I think he should hit on the 5 point, because if Will can win that 5 point, I think he needs to win it before doubling. He has to. Oh, of course, he has to win the battle for the 5 point before doubling. So that's what's going on now. It's the battle for the 5 point. And Will's looking favourite for me, but I would play 24 to 23 and 13-9 to maximise my covers for that valued 5 points. But that does give him a tiny bit of lack of flexibility at the back. So, so much to decide. So much to. It's tough. I'm playing 14-9, 24, 23. But there is another even cleverer play, but which is giving up your keeping total flexibility by playing 6 to 5. But that was a bit too big. So Zdenek Will decided that the flexibility at the back was more important than the flexibility at the front. Okay, and so right, powerful cube. Especially at this score. Good play, Will. Again, seeing things that I hadn't even contemplated. You know, any dance would have led to this powerful double, and then I think ZZ's going to drop in this at this score because he's got no checkers to play. It's so hard to play when Will hasn't even made his 5 point yet, and of course the argument to take is Will has only got 20 numbers or 20, 22, 20, whatever it is. Really, double, two, double. Anyway, all combinations of 4, 3 to make the 5 point. It's so hard to let it go, but he did do. So another tough decision. They don't make it easier. Well, I know Will doesn't make it easier for you when you're playing against him, and it's fantastic play, and it's really exciting for the challenge. So it's now obviously hit and then make another point in board. Will, yeah, he does that. Again, Will is going to be very aggressive compared with, and he might even be doubling as early as this. Again, because of the score. I'd be doubling now at this score, and Will does as well. 5-2 and misses everything apart. So now does Will, because he's thrown just the worst possible throw, does he play 6 to 1 just in the hope that Zdenek dances? And he did, but Zdenek doesn't take any prisoners and hits back and rolls. It's now gone significantly in Zdenek's favour, but as we've seen before, it's backgammon and things can turn around. Okay, so 5-3. So now everything apart from the game isn't over is in Zdenek's favour. He holds the 2 cube, but now Will has just established a decent backgammon. Which one is he going to choose? This is the only question. I tend to like, when time is not great, to like the 3-4 backgammon. It's really, in some ways it's pleasant commenting on these players, because you always feel a tinge of pleasure when they agree with you. So 6-5. So what's White going to play? He can't play safe. I think I would just make more on the 8 point, because the one place we're not bothered about, because if we want hitting, we want hitting from the midpoint, I would say. But so I would play. Interesting, but then again, if you play to the 8 and 9 points, and again, he's chosen my play, which is nice to see. I think Blue will keep the 4-3 back game by just running from the back and rely on that. But of course, he loses a bit of contact when he does that, because it's the ace point. It's now the 4-3 back game and 4-3 back game only. So let's see what he does. He's obviously choosing between. I don't think he'll be losing the midpoint, so he's obviously trying to. Like I say, sometimes it's nice when these players agree with you when you're commentating, but then you also get shocks when they play plays that are better than you've even considered. Okay, 2-1 for blue. Okay, 3-2. Now, white has to, the downside of blue giving up his 4-3 game is that he really doesn't want to be left with just one anchor in his home board, in white's home board, because they are so much easier to clear. So where does he go? And how, these plays aren't easy for blue. He's trying to create maximum contact, but he also needs checkers to be in play. What does he do? 6-4 for white. Now white can waste a bit of time. But blue, I really think that he has to play 21 out because he can't afford to go too deep in his own point. But maybe he's got this 2 point he can slot, which isn't completely lost. But I would definitely come out with a 21 and just have another checker in play. There is that gap on the 4 point that could well one day haunt white, and yes, he did do. So white will be playing totally safe. That's another point cleared. Blue, well, yeah, he slotted. So now it's not easy. White just desperately wants the 4 point, but whether he can get it or not is a different question. And blue timing isn't that great, so there's some different things going on here. I think white's play is relatively easy, just carrying on playing as safely as possible. Now Will's even having to decide. Okay, so just a bit too quick for me. So he'll make the 5 points, of course, and then ZZ will play safe. Now blue he will definitely go from the bar point. There's no point in, you can't even think of anything else. Okay, so now he's down to it's stronger than your normal 3 point game, but it's still a big favourite for ZZ. Can he just get it home? That's the question. And of course now he's not going to get gammoned, which also gives confidence to ZZ. Now Will's got to decide whether to split at the back. These plays are really tough for me, really tough. This is where, like I say, I wish I'd have been able to have a joint commentary with Neil. Okay. It's only looking like he's likely to get one shot at the most, so we're playing safe as possible. And he's only going to get one shot, but he does get that one shot. Now, just minute. 5 off. So, and it's going to be hard for Will to pick up another checker with already having his board made. But even so, I would just minimise shots completely, because I don't want, if I ever get the chance to hit a lucky shot. But one more off is good, and he's hit it, and that's it. So ZZ is not going to lose the Battle of the Crown on this one. So ZZ's won the match. They play at 3-2. So if Will wins the PR, it's been a tie. It looks like they both don't want to play a decider if Will wins anyway. So I'll just presume that's the case. And if ZZ wins the PR, then it's all over. No. Yeah, ZZ didn't play his normal fantastic level of play, but it's a tie, a honourable draw, impressive stuff, and I wish it would be fodder for Facebook posting now, says Will. No, they both played. They played fine. Not their absolute A1 games, but better than all of us can do normally. I only say that because I know what Will Snelling's A1 game is and how incredible. It's everybody else's A1 game, but not his. So you know, I think he must have played an average of about something like he's showing on that board, something like 2.5, 2.6, which for everybody else would be more than their A1 game. But I've seen Will crush me time after time playing an average of 1.6, 1.7. So congratulations both. And I don't know if you're even going to contemplate a fun 1-pointer or 3-pointer to have a winner, to have a decision, or you both prefer to call it an honourable draw. Just text me and let me know. Okay? Okay, that looks to me like to me that's all over. So I'm saying goodbye, and I hope I've not talked too much. And it's been a pleasure to commentate on two such great players. And thank you very much, everybody. And so I think that leaves Will as the number one. But we all know ZZ. All he needs is a tiny bit of provocation, and he goes flying off into the distance again, because he did that on the 1 hour or so that I overtook him once, and so I'm sure he'll try and do that to Will as well. He's just unstoppable against most people playing speed gammon on a medium length match. People can't compete, you know, and he'll just go off into the distance. But congratulations, Will, for drawing with him in this challenge, and congratulations to both of you for putting on, giving us the pleasure of watching you two. Thanks all. Bye.